Well, Martin Ewi is a senior researcher at the Institute for Security Studies. He joins me now from Pretoria in South Africa. Thanks so much for being with us. First, I want to find out from you who exactly you believe these attackers are, because there's some conflicting accounts. Some saying, most saying actually, that they are Daesh-linked militants, but others are actually saying it's a little bit closer, really, to a rebel group that formed out of, poverty and marginalization, that Mozambique is familiar with these groups as well, and they're now attacking a resource-rich area. What do you think?
Well, judging from the modus operandi, it's purely the Islamic State, Daesh, if you want to call it like that. I don't think that the local arms group, which is Al-Sunnah, can carry out this kind of gruesome attacks on its own people. This is a signature of the Islamic State.
Okay. And what they did carry out was absolutely horrific. It continues in Mozambique. And for me, one of the most disturbing things about this attack is that these villages were attacked over a series of days before anyone was able to even get to the region. I mean, how was it able to continue for so long? And talk about as well the wider presence of these groups in that northern region of Mozambique and how much they're growing.
Well, this is why the insurgency is continuing, the absence of the government on the ground. And we know that it is also the same factor that brought the Islamists into Cabo Delgado, which is a general trend we've seen across Africa, that remote areas like these ones do not have the presence of security forces. And most often they are not part of the security apparatus. We've seen that across different regions of Africa. And these are the regions being targeted by Islamists, being targeted by terrorist groups like the ones we are seeing in northern Mozambique. As you've said, the attacks came on Friday. They started on Friday, spread over to Sunday. So they were able to carry out massive attacks, mass killings, burning of homes, beheading people over a stretch of 2 days without any response from the government.
And this is actually, it's a horrible tragedy for the entire country, because this region, it really does matter to Mozambique. Not only is it resource rich, but you're talking about a coastline there that could potentially bring millions and millions of dollars in tourism to the country. It has a Caribbean coast-like coastline. It's extremely untouched, it's beautiful, and could be easily accessible. And now, with the security threat there, they're looking at never being able to develop this area, I mean, at least for the foreseeable future.
It's the most strategic town in Mozambique. You talk of millions, it's billions. The liquefied gas is, we're talking of billions of dollars. This thing could change the wealth of Mozambique overnight. The port, which is now under the control of the Islamists. This is one of the most strategic ports in Mozambique, and it brings in millions of dollars. We also know that this port is associated with transnational organized crime. It's associated with drug trafficking. We have called it as part of the heroin coast of Africa, where, heroin is trafficked from Afghanistan through Pakistan, passing through this coast, which stretch from Djibouti right down to southern Cape of Africa.
You and I are talking about this now, but the truth is these attacks have more or less been flying under the radar of the international community for years now. And there's a real danger in that. This region is largely being ignored, and it is letting Daesh fester and potentially become a huge danger to the entire world.
Indeed, indeed. We at the Institute for Security Studies have criticized the international community. We've criticized the region for not intervening. We've criticized organizations like the African Union for standing by to watch chaos of this nature, huge humanitarian conditions on the ground to unfold. And we see Daesh, taking over towns and villages where they are causing mayhem to each and every individual that is left in that region. So it is really, really a pity that the international community, which has signed so many agreements, so many international treaties, saying that they will not let genocide, they will not let crimes against humanity like the kind that we see in Mozambique unfold. But yet, we've seen them stand by the side, watch this kind of chaos unfold in Mozambique. It's a pity. This is not the first time. In April this year, there were beheadings of over 50 people. The international community did nothing. Those beheadings were not covered by the media. And I think that's why we're seeing these ones as if they are the first. They are not. It's a trend that is taking place in northern Mozambique and being perpetrated by the Islamic State.
Martin Ewi, thank you so much for spending the time with us. We really appreciate your insight.